Telkom Business, behind South African businesses' drive to thrive.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurial SME. I am Mabote. This evening, we have founder and CEO of 3E Group, Theko Letsie. Theko took the risk of abandoning the comfort of a high-paying job to start his own business venture. Let's find out a bit more on how far he's come since 2012.
So, name Theko Letsie. I am the founder of 3E Group, which also includes a company called Frequency Shift. So 3E, currently we've got two business models, predominantly in the heavy industry, with our first step being the mining sector. Anglo is our biggest customer. The point of Frequency Shift is to be in that space, and we're helping clients digitize their process plan. Once you're in the digital space, there is so much that can be done. This is where 3E Group new business model comes in. We now offer value-added services based on the data that has been created by Frequency Shift. So those are the two distinct business models. The team has grown and has evolved as well. So the team that we had before, I was always the smartest guy in the room. And when business changed, the world closed, we couldn't supply automation equipment like we were doing in the beginning, and we had to shift. We couldn't do it because it was all now. We're waiting for Theko to tell us what to do. It was very difficult, and partly because of that and other reasons, we had to liquidate that company. The current team, if I walk into the engineering team, they know better than I do engineering or whatever they're doing. If I walk to the marketing guy, he knows a little bit better than I do. If I walk to my accountant, she knows a little bit better than I do. So we've grown, but we have shifted. In the beginning, warning to anybody that is starting a business, it's going to be ego-driven. I've registered a business. I've got a website. Hey, here's my business card. It's very nice. But reality will soon set in. And the quicker it sets in, the better. There will be times where it is tough. There will be times when you feel like giving up. There will be times when nothing is there. There are no orders, there's no money, there are no people to help you out. And at that moment in time, if you can fall back on why did I start this thing, it will help out.
Theko, thank you very much for joining. Now, firstly, I'm very privileged to be in the room with the most intelligent guy, right? That's a great thing to know. But, I need you to help me. Mm-hmm. I watched this clip, and I'm not so wise enough about what is it that you do for these mining companies in simple grade 3 English.
So in simple grade 3 English, before I go in, I thank you for inviting us. Thank you for the exposure. Yes, so in simple language, the internet is coming to the heavy industries, the minings, the petrochem industries. And as a result, there is a lot of data that needs to be generated. That is what we do as Frequency Shift.
So you generate the data on their behalf?
We generate the data on their behalf. This is to digitize.
To do what with it?
So we digitize.
You digitize?
Correct.
Their
That's
data.
the first, yes.
Okay.
The same way they digitize you, they track you everywhere.
Yeah.
You go, yeah. We're doing the same thing with the mining companies. Then, once the data is available, there is so much that you can do better because you are seeing the data.
Yes.
And this is where 3E Group comes in. So if you did the traditional engineering, if you've got the better data, more data, whatever you're doing, traditionally you can do it 10 times better.
So you're servicing people who used to be you before you started the business?
Precisely.
What was happening before your business was out there? How did they do things?
So before we were there, it's traditional business models. Yeah. You do the engineering, procurement, construction, and life carries on.
Yeah.
But because of the 4IR, I know it's a big word, but it's a reality. The data that is now available because of the technology is becoming very useful. So mining companies and other heavy industry companies are trying to be more efficient with the use of data, and that is where we come in.
So 11 years ago, you left your job as the smartest guy in the room. How does this all begin? What was the motivation to go this route?
So 11 years ago, it was a typical engineer syndrome. Thinking I'm the best engineer, I can go out and start an engineering company. But little did I know that the reality as a businessman is completely different. Started 2012, no traction, up until 2016 when we came across Anglo via a Zimela program. We were lucky that they helped us with some mentorship, some funding, and they gave us access to customers. We started a control instrumentation company. That didn't go well because it took us 8 months to get our first order.
Even before you go forward, if I heard you well, so there was an 8 to 9 year period where not much was happening.
Where not much was happening, correct. So as an engineer, you're trying this and that, and basically when you look back, we didn't know what we were doing. However, with every failure, you are learning. So with every year, you're like,
it would have cost a lot of money though.
It costed a lot of money. I've said, you know what, I have lost a lot of money into the 3E group journey. I had 3 houses, as an example. The money that I had in there, it's all gone. So yes, it has costed a lot.
So when you explain the mishap, right, it says, I probably made a mistake, but you are just about to say, because then you say you got this opportunity with Anglo-Americans program, which therefore also seems to say you were at the right place at the right time.
Correct. So had we not taken the leap of faith, 2012, to say we will start something, we wouldn't have been there when Anglo said, you know what, we are looking for small businesses to partner with the big guys. So yes, there was failure on one side, but on the other side, you know what, there was this opportunity that we wouldn't have seen had we not taken the leap of faith.
So the last few years have been better. Who then has come in as in your client book?
Yeah.
Is it still Anglo alone? Who else is?
So over the years, since 2017, 2018, we were lucky that with the traction we had with Anglo, we then had other mining companies, Lonmins, your Sibanyes, your Impalas, and the other ones. So we've had blue chip clients. And then in 2019, 2020, during COVID, the traditional supply of instrumentation business, we had to liquidate it because the world had stopped. Yeah.
But you didn't need it because you were now working in a different world.
Not yet. So at that time, we hadn't had that digital business model. Yeah. We were lucky that when the world stopped, we were experimenting with the digital space.
Yes.
And that's the one that carried us through COVID. That's when we said, hey, there is something here in the digital space.
Who do you compete with in this business?
So
what type of business? I mean, you don't have to give them advertising.
Yeah, so we're competing with the big boys in the digital space, the same way that, for example, the Google seems to take all.
Yeah.
You know? It's going to be the same. That's how we see it. It's going to be one winner takes all. However, we are saying before the big boys come here, when the industry is in the digital space, we want to be part of it.
Or you could be the big boy in that time.
We're hoping to be one of the big boys. We're hoping to.
How many people do you employ?
So currently we're sitting at about plus minus 10 to 15. There's 10 permanent, and then others come in and go as we have projects.
We're going to take a break and come back to talk more about your business. Don't move that dial. We shall see you shortly.